Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 2087, and I'm with Meredith.
Hello.
Hello. So we're talking about your contest prep, and we are at the 13 weeks out mark.
Exciting.
Yeah, so lucky 13. So it's going to be a good week.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, shh, don't say it.
Yeah, let's knock on wood. Knock on wood. There you go. Yes. So there was actually a bodybuilder video I was listening to, and he's from the UK, and he said the phrase touch wood.
What?
So instead of like knock on wood.
Touch wood?
Yeah, touch wood. So and I was like, that's interesting, like that at least spans across right from the US to the UK.
Yes.
Which kind of makes sense given the connection of the two countries. But also the slight difference of like touching it versus knocking on it. So
Fun fact of the day.
yes. So I don't know if that's just him being one weird person in the UK or not.
If you're in the UK and that is something you say, let us know.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun. Like we've talked about the demographics, and about a third of the listeners to the podcast are actually outside of the United States.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to see if anybody does chime in.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So I've heard from people before that when I say mum instead of mom,
Yeah.
that they resonate with that, which is neat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So there's random conversation. Okay.
Yes.
So how did this week go for you?
Good-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. Our fire alarms. We didn't have fire in the house, but at 4 a.m. The batteries died on 3 of them.
And specifically the one
directly above our bed.
yes, and the one in the attic.
Yeah.
Which took me until I checked all of the ones in the house to realize we even had one in the attic. I actually didn't even know we had one up there.
I know.
I was just like, there's something beeping. I've checked everything that beeps on this floor.
You pulled a Rayovac battery out of that one, so
yeah,
that was not new.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day before that, the monsoon woke me up at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which, I forget how many podcasts ago, but we talked about a way to combat the hunger is to sleep as much as you can.
Yes.
So this week was a lot of the opposite of that.
Yeah, so this
and
week
be
was
awake
like what
for
you
a
don't
long time.
yeah, you were awake.
Very long time.
So 4 a.m. until normal because you don't nap.
No.
But yes, you had some back-to-back long days.
Yeah. So that was what made it rough because I was tired and I was hungry for longer, which isn't the most fun. And
one adjustment we made for that is we typically weigh ourselves for official weigh-ins on Mondays and Thursdays.
Right.
And this week we skipped Thursday because with back-to-back poor sleep and just feeling like crap, my mind is, why weigh ourselves? Because we're going to weigh a little more due to the stress of having been awake longer, the cortisol stress.
And that was like a week of that.
Yeah, and when you sleep, your body is able to get rid of water retention and wake up drier than when you sleep less. So we have clients who have to break their sleep up into 2 chunks, or clients who have like odd night shift / day shift things, and they're always going to be holding more water retention than clients who have more consistent schedules.
So we didn't weigh.
Yes, we skipped Thursdays.
And I didn't this weekend. I don't remember why. Oh, I was doing, because of the fatigue and exhaustion, we switched around the upper-lower split, and we did like upper 2 rest days, then we smashed legs.
Yes.
So I knew I would also be holding because of that.
Yeah. And that was also led into, we decided this week to do what we'll call a refeed workout. I mean a refeed day.
Yeah.
And nutrition-wise, there's a lot of terms. You'll hear like a cheat day. You'll hear things like refeed. What I was looking for being, like from a coach's perspective, is last week you were super hungry due to the nutritional adjustment. This week you were hungry, but we also had poor sleep. We had some stress happening. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if our body becomes overstressed, it starts to actually fight the fat loss process.
Yep.
So we decided to go ahead and just on Saturday open up our food a bit. We had our normal breakfast. Then we went and had sushi
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to Roussan's in
yep.
Charlotte. And how was it? How'd you like the dinner?
It was amazing.
Yes.
It was the California sunset roll that was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a chunk of salmon, a chunk of tuna, rice with avocado over top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Masago.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
And I liked the fact that it was, like, when I get sushi, I'm celiac, I can't have tempura. I also think fried foods tastes disgusting.
Yeah.
Like the grease it lays in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see any value in putting, like, cream cheese in a roll. I think that doesn't add any
It's very
flavor.
filling, too. Like, cream cheese
like
is
dense,
very filling, yeah.
But, like, it doesn't add anything to sushi. Anyway,
Yeah.
no tempura, no cream cheese. It was just what I actually really like best is basically sashimi.
Yeah.
Just the meat and rice. With some
meat and
avocado.
rice with a little bit of avocado and mix it all up in a weird setting. Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah, so that was fun. We did that. And then we came home. We got some...
I was hungry by the time we came home.
Yeah, which was funny because we walked around a little bit in the store for like 30 minutes and then drove home. So it was maybe about an hour after dinner.
Yeah.
And you were already starving.
I was starving.
Yeah.
So I had Oreos.
Yeah.
Gluten-free
Shout out to
Oreos.
Thin Meat. Thin Mint? Or,
Thin Mint.
Yeah, it was mint, but it tasted like the Thin Mints, right?
It tasted like the Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies
Yeah.
that I haven't had in 24 years.
Yeah, because the whole celiac thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was delicious. So gluten-free mint Oreos and a couple of plain gluten-free double stuff Oreos.
Yes, and a core power.
With a core power.
Yep.
I pounded those
Oh, you ate those
in like a minute.
It was fast, but you enjoyed them.
It was amazing.
Yes.
I can still close my eyes and taste them.
Perfect.
It was great.
Yes.
And I appreciated it very much.
Oh, it was nice. Yeah. So you did a great job fighting through the week, and the benefit of that day, kind of there's layers to it. One of the layers is with the poor sleep and the diet having already been challenging hunger-wise with normal sleep. If your body became overextended, like we said, overstressed, it would start fighting the fat loss process.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, well, to ensure that the body doesn't feel stressed, one of the ways you can do that is to just switch up the foods and have like excitement and happiness in the day. So your calories actually were relatively the same. If we were off, it was maybe 100 off. It actually could have been plus or minus.
Yeah.
So we weren't like over at all. Protein probably about 20 grams less than what we normally do. But it was still a very good day. You wouldn't have woke up with really any excessive amount of calories, which could have been stored as body fats. It was a very good day for fat loss effects. And what I also like about it is it renews excitement and motivation after a stressful and a mentally draining week.
It was more beneficial mentally because the workout still burned like crazy. I felt zero difference in my workout, but mentally I felt way better.
Yes, it was nice to give you a break. Now, one of the things I would encourage clients to avoid is to do that too often. So sometimes, change your foods up and say let me, if this meal's normally 500 calories with 20 grams of protein, let me figure out how many Oreos I can fit in instead. You do want to have consistency in food and quality of food, not only to have the best benefit for body compositional change, but also mental strength. I would believe that it would be best long term for people to learn how to suffer a bit before they try to give themselves leeways and loopholes and try to avoid the suffering.
Great point, because we were saying we were on the way to sushi, and how many weeks have I already done? 10 weeks in?
Yeah, you're 10 weeks already dieting.
So that took 10 weeks.
Yeah, we didn't deviate in 10 weeks.
To get to clean sushi and 8 Oreos.
Yes. Yeah.
And right back to it.
Yeah.
So people go a little nuts too when they think, oh, refeed cheat day.
Yeah, like for our purposes, we didn't need a caloric boost to save your metabolism.
Oh, metabolism's fine.
Yeah, the metabolism got the benefit from just the change of foods, and that kind of sparked things to burn through faster. It made it a little bit of a difference to where it brought you out of the funk of the week, but it didn't undo anything.
Yeah.
And then another thing that is unique for you, as opposed to like everyone who might be listening, is you have an extensive history of dieting. So having a couple Oreos isn't going to all of a sudden spike your urge to now have Oreos all the time. Like not this
that's
craving cycle. It's not going to kick off a craving cycle.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Now, I actually have suffered from that in my own history, in my past.
It's a terrible feeling.
I remember one time I gave up ice cream for a year because I really love ice cream. So I gave it up ice cream for a year. And then at the 1 year mark, I had some ice cream. And then I was like, okay, that was good. And then like you go a week or two and you're like, well, you know, I'm kind of tired one night. Had a really big workout. Maybe I'll have ice cream again. So then you have ice cream again. And then it was like 2 weeks. Then it cuts down to like 10 days. Then it cuts down to like 5 days. And you're like, damn it, this is why I had to give up ice cream. So it is challenging sometimes when you allow deviation.
Yeah.
That, especially if it's like a sweet treat or something happy, it's hard to have it be a one and done experience. But you did a great job with that, and you have a history of being able to have done that. So people who haven't established that history yet,
that's true.
I would encourage them to challenge that.
Yeah, and that took a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that when you said that, I thought, oh yeah, it is kind of second nature. I'm allowed 8, count 8, done.
Yeah, you're very good at just...
Let's go, 10 more weeks.
It is what it is, yeah. You have a great mindset for, these are the rules. I said I want it, so I'm going to follow the rules.
We talked about how it's... bodybuilding is an endurance sport.
Yes, very much so.
Because you said my pain tolerance was high.
Yes, that's a good...
And I was thinking, okay, well, yeah, my pain tolerance is high when I work out, but my legs start burning at my first set of 5 warm-up, and we have to do 30. So this is a really good bad sign because it's just going to suck. And you said, no, more like mental endurance.
Yes.
That you have to stay uncomfortable for a very prolonged amount of time.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who will endure the pain of a challenging workout.
Right.
But then they're not disciplined with nutrition.
Right.
And then they don't ever look better, and they feel like crap, and they look like crap, and they hate themselves. So,
funny how that happens.
It's interesting, like when you think of pain tolerance, like one thing I had to teach myself, and I would like to hear your opinion on, like, what do you think of it? But I had to teach myself over the years that it is not mental toughness to work out so hard that I throw up if I'm then going to go eat a pizza and skip meals and not eat the right food in between the workouts. Like, to me, mental toughness is, can you do the stuff you don't want to do for a prolonged time, the small stuff? It's easy to do one miserable hard workout and then be lazy for 23 hours of the day. That's easy. That's not hardcore. That's not mentally tough.
Right.
I want to be the mentally tough where I can do the small, nuanced stuff. No one else sees. I'm the only one who knows I should be doing it. Can I follow through with doing it? And can I do that for months, if not years?
Yeah.
That is mental toughness.
I would agree. I completely agree.
Yeah. And it took stages. Like when I was younger, I had to develop the ability to do workouts that were super intense to change my body. So I needed that to be the goal. And then once I achieved that, I realized, okay, crap, this is only a small slice of the picture. Just because I have some great workouts doesn't mean anything if I'm not eating right.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, when I was younger, it was, let me get all the protein I need, because protein builds muscle. So I was getting hard workouts, I was getting a protein. But then it was like, oh crap, now I got to figure out carbs and fats because apparently they're necessary. So it was like you slowly had to put extra piece after extra piece. And what I thought was mentally tough at one stage kind of had to develop and broaden over the process.
Makes sense because you learn more. You learn yourself more. You learn the process more. You learn just general principles. So that's true.
Yeah.
But I would agree with that. I think doing things day in and day out is the mental toughness part.
Yeah.
And sure, you can, like you said, exact same thing. Go crush a workout, but are you being a jackass the rest of the time?
Yeah. If you're not doing any of the things that support the workout, what's the point of doing it?
Yeah. Like, good job.
Yes.
Like, you won't see any of those benefits. But
unfortunately, it's not going to see much.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the training over the weekend, one of the things that was fun, since we did the refeed day, we had decided to do legs back to back. The first day was volume. So we did sets of 30 reps. And there'll be a video on YouTube for people to be able to see that. But we did 30 reps on lying leg curls, on
everything,
leg press, and then we did a very fun, weird variation of a sit-up.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was a fun... The sit-up was specifically to work the to contract and grow the top of the rectus abdominis, the top 4 muscles, and teach the lower abs to pull inward for stabilization, but to not have any activation in the obliques. So that way you get a nice tapered little waist with nice little muscle bumps in the abs.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I didn't train my abs last time. Intentionally. Like, I didn't do focused workouts on my abs.
Yeah, the last time you did a show?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So it'll be fun this time. And then today, since we did legs twice, we did heavy. We did a very contrasting style.
Yeah.
Yes. So today
It
we
was
did
fun.
heavy RDLs and heavy deficit reverse lunges. And then we did another ab exercise, which we've done a couple times now, is how would you explain that one?
It almost feels a little like a plank.
Yeah, that's a good explanation.
Like a plank, but also like if you were to hold a V up.
Yes, so it's actually a V-up crunch, and then you put a foam roller lengthwise with your body, so parallel with the line of your body. It's pinned between your feet, your knees, and then your hands go on the top. And then you actually have to try to push the foam roller down through your feet and knees. It's almost like you're trying to shove it out the bottom, but the knees and the feet are pinching in so hard that it can't move.
And you shake and you feel weak, and it's great.
It is fantastic. So I learned about that variation after I tore my groin, and it actually then helped me teach women, like post-pregnancy, pelvic floor control and strength. Any woman that has like an incontinent issue, like with deadlifts, that'll help strengthen those muscles.
For sure.
And then males with rectus diastasis. So like men can have weak abs that are distended. So that's another one that kind of pulls in the distension. So it's a really cool exercise.
One.
Yeah,
It was a fun workout weekend.
Yeah. And then, so some top questions for you. We were able to hit PRs on our RDLs today and on the reverse lunges. How do you feel out of the two movements? The one I'm kind of pushing heavy on you right now is the RDLs. We're doing heavy RDLs, heaviest we've ever done together.
The seal rep.
Yeah. How do you feel about RDLs? Like, do you like that? Do you feel like it's a glute connection for you?
I do and I do. I like it and I feel it. Yeah.
Good. Did you feel? How do you?
It was nice to feel strong today.
Ah, there you go. Good. So do you prefer heavy, low reps or high reps and that chasing that pump and that burn?
Depends.
Oh, depends on what? Like when does one feel good? When does one not?
What I'm in the mood to do, like if I just want to listen to really good music and go for a long time, I'll just do a lot of reps and it'll feel great.
Nice.
Or I either slept really well, I have a lot of energy, I feel like I want to lift heavy. So I like both. So I can't say I like one over the other.
That's good. That's
I was a
great
CrossFitter, so
yeah, you're used to just doing volume. Just crush, and then the CrossFit still does super heavy things.
You do
too.
really heavy things for 15 minutes, and then you do a lot of things for 40 minutes.
yeah.
It's probably not the answer you wanted.
I didn't have any agenda, and I actually like the fact that you say you like both because there are going to be people who resonate with that they like both, and it's because they might wonder, like, oh, on the high days, the high rep days, am I really just wasting time? Should I be doing the heavy? Or if they do heavy stuff, and they're like, is this good enough for me, or do I have to be doing high reps? So sometimes people will have a preference, and then they worry if they should be doing the other. And then the people who do both, sometimes it's nice to know that that's okay as well. That it's okay to do both.
They both have their own benefit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I can't say one is better over the other, right? Depends on your goals.
Yeah, like if you want to get stronger, sets of 60 reps probably isn't going to help.
Right. Like,
if you want to get muscle endurance, probably sets of 2 or 3 isn't going to help.
Right.
So it does have to be connected to your goal. But if you're thinking of muscle growth and muscle shaping, they've done research and have proven that you can be, a wide range. You could do stuff as low as 10 seconds of time under tension and as high as 60 seconds of time under tension. Then the volume you need, you kind of have to make it up. If you do heavy stuff for 10 seconds, you might need more total sets to get enough volume for growth, but you can do that. If you do stuff for 60 seconds, you actually still need more sets because it's not heavy enough. Yeah. So usually the sweet spot we have clients stay within, and this is research-based, is 20 to 40 seconds. that's typically a really good time retention range to where you would need the fewer amount of sets compared to if you were outside of that range. If you went any heavier, you might need an extra
Sweet
set
spot.
or two. Yeah. If you went any lighter, you might need an extra set or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why in our training we usually do 3 to 5 sets.
Yeah.
And when it's a day that feels great.
Today was 5, right?
Today was 5 because we were really heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yesterday was 5 because we were really high reps.
Yeah, that's right. It was both 5. Yeah.
Yep. And then our normal circuits where you do 20 to 40 seconds of time retention, sometimes we only do 3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we modify it is, you know, you just stick with the movements. There's no point in spending a lot of time tearing down exercises, building exercises back up. You just kind of stay with 1, 2, 3 movements and you just get your sets in.
Yeah.
Yeah. The style that I have us training at the moment is usually a circuit style. We'll pick 3 exercises, and then we kind of go like exercise 1 into exercise 2 into exercise 3. Then we'll take a break. How do you like that style compared to like some styles you've used in the past? And you can say good and bad. There's no intended answer. Yeah.
I mean, I like it because I like how I feel after 5 rounds of the 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
I also like using a lot of machines in one day. But that's when I would spend, right, like an hour and a half, and I just go do it for fun. I would just, do supersets on maybe 10 different pieces of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. So I'm kind of boring with the responses of I like everything.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like hearing that, and again because training styles can be insanely varied. If we have a client, I think of one client right now. He wants to do bodybuilding. He has the luxury of he can take however long as he wants in his workouts. If we write circuits for him, he would be bummed because he'd be done in 30, 40 minutes, and he's like, dude, I have all day. Like, let me just geek out. Like, I want to nerd out on a bicep curl and do like 6 sets of one thing so I can, do I squeeze from my pinky? Do I squeeze from my thumb? He loves that stuff.
Yeah. I was going to say, and for this, where we are in life right now, the 3 works because it fits within a manageable amount of time with the other things that I have to do.
Yeah, like our workouts in general are 20 to 30 minutes.
So it's great.
Like 40 if we do the 5 rounds.
Yeah.
But usually we're down in the gym, already warmed up and in our movements under 10 minutes. And then we spend another 10 to 20 minutes in the movements. Then we peace out. So
which is
nice.
When I tell people that they're very surprised. They think I spend hours.
Yeah.
25 minutes, and they're like, don't believe me.
Yeah, it's like, what? Yeah.
No, it's true.
Yeah, like we've prepped people for shows, and they've done 4 40-minute workouts, like weight training sessions a week. That's it. The rest of it was nutrition. And they got on stage and did fine. Yeah. Now, does more time in the gym help? Almost always. Almost always. But can it be done intelligently and still with great quality in less time? Yes. So if somebody doesn't have, an hour and a half, 5 days a week, and they're like, oh, I still want to be able to compete, but I feel like that's what, it looks like that's what everybody needs to do is, an hour of fasted cardio in the morning, come back to the gym for an hour and a half at night. And it's like, no, some people will do that, yes, but you do not have to spend 2.5 hours a day in the gym. Yeah. That is completely unnecessary.
Like you can't, that's partly why I want to do the show now, because I'm working full time, going to school, basically might as well be full time. And, Daisy, and just all the things. The dog who's sleeping to our left, which is great. But there's just a lot of things. At this point, I can't. It doesn't make sense to spend 2 hours.
No, and it would take away from your other goals in life, and unnecessarily so.
Right. You don't have to.
Yeah. So if you can do it in 30 minutes, why the hell would you not? If time is very precious.
Right.
Yeah. And what I like about that is it helps you manage the unpredictability of life.
Yeah.
Say you have an appointment in the day and you're like, oh crap, I had to move this thing around, I moved that thing around. I really only have 30 minutes. Totally fine. You can get a
Perfect.
great workout. And then I'm like, for me, some days I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I got a clear calendar schedule. I could really take 2.5 hours if I wanted. So I love it because then I'll make 2 or 3 videos for YouTube, take the whole time to work out, try some new movements.
Yeah, I got excited for you when you get to spend all that time.
So I love it because then I also make, like, one of the things I like to do is to make personal videos for people or clients. And those days where I have a longer time, it's enjoyable to be able to make those videos for people and say, you know, hey, I was watching your last video. Like, for example, one client was saying how they were having a pinch in their shoulder in their squats. And part of it was due to when they were setting up for the squat, they were pulling on the bar with their hands to pull themselves up under the bar. And what I did was I made a video that showed them how to get into a bar when you have your palms touching the bar, but your fingers don't have to be wrapped. And they were like, holy crap, you can actually do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can actually do that. And I said, so do it this way. Yeah, don't wrap your fingers. Just see if you can flex your back and get yourself into position where you never actually pull on the bar. And the very next day, the pain in the shoulder went away.
That's awesome.
And it's fun times because sometimes you try to write it out in a journal and it can be kind of hard in words. And then other times you have the time to make a quick 1-minute video and then bam, it's, you know, they understand, they're good to go.
Awesome.
Yeah. So how are you liking the process so far? We got through what we both know is kind of like the easier half.
Yeah.
And we're going to start getting into the not so easy half.
Yes.
So how do you feel at this point kind of coming into the halfway point?
I feel good. I'm a little anxious about all the traveling we have to do.
We have a lot of traveling coming up. A lot. Yeah.
But I'm excited. Part of me feels like I won't be ready. Mm-hmm. But that's normal.
I was going to say, is there any indicator of that, or is it just kind of...
Nope.
Just the history of
just,
you?
Yeah, just the history of me and realizing like how much we have going on. And like for the exact reason we just talked about, I'm able to work out for 35 minutes and get ready. Versus... I was the person doing fasted cardio for 45 minutes and then going back to the gym later. So I was that person. Yeah. And I'm not doing that. So mentally, this will be a fun experiment because I'm already looking better. Like
you look great. You definitely make great progress,
yeah,
and you've even noticed it, which is
I have noticed it.
Yeah, when the individual going through the process can notice it, that's when you know you're really doing well.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Is the previous ways in which you've done it are very different than the way we're doing it now.
Old school.
Yes. So it's then okay. Since it is different, is it going to work the same? And that's just a natural question. Like, is it going to work as well? Okay. Is it going to be effective?
Right.
If I want the same results, do I have to go back to what I used to do?
Right.
And that is challenging. Like, we work with a lot of people who've tried, like, say, weight loss the wrong way, lost their period, got super unhealthy, thin hair, like, really unhealthy in, like, regards to, like, physical health, but also mental health. And then we're like, hey, you know, let's do it this way this time. And it seems healthy and it seems like they're actually taking care of themselves. But then all of a sudden the doubt creeps in. You know, like, is it going to work? And it's like, well, last time it didn't technically work because you damn near died. So let's not die this time. So
define work.
Yes. And that's also funny too, is people will say, you know, oh, like when I dieted before, this is what worked. And I'm like, it can't have worked if you need to diet again.
Yeah, because you have to maintain it.
You're doing, yes, exactly. Maintaining it is the key. Yeah. If you dieted and then, like, say you lost 30 pounds, held that for a while, and you're like, okay, now I'm excited, I want to lose 20 more.
I'm going to go eat a gallon of ice cream.
Yes. So if you lost 30 pounds, you held that for a while, and now you want to lose 20 more, then, yeah, you can go back to what worked because it actually worked. You lost 30 and it stayed. But if you lost 30, you gained 30 back, and then you're like, I'm going to go back to what worked before. That didn't work. It didn't work. Like, that's it's not like that's not how things work.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
That people think like that?
It is. What's fun is it's universal. It's come up like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds 100% of times.
Of the time.
Yes, and then it's like navigating that conversation, and it's interesting because
your ears start bleeding.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't know how to word it except for it's interesting to try to tell someone a common sense type thing, but doing it in a way that can present it in a new light where they can see it differently. but then also doing it where you don't make people feel offended.
Right.
And that's a little challenging, Yes. Like, I remember, like, when I was trying to learn how to do, like, mechanical stuff, and my dad was trying to teach me mechanical stuff. So...
My indoorsman.
Yes. There was no kindness in that process. It was, here's this thing that does this thing. Like, I don't even know enough about mechanics to even say the words. I don't even know what the words are. So, like, I'd just be saying, like, dingbat and wombat and, like, things that aren't things. But it's like...
Hedgehog and hedge fund.
Yeah. Like, I still get confused what a wrench is. So...
Stop it.
But, like, there's, like, an alternator in a car that... I just know when that goes, you can't steer very well.
Yeah. So, stop.
Okay, we're done.
Oh, yeah. You get the point.
Yes. But whenever my dad would tell me something, he'd tell me once, and then I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah.
And then his way of explaining it to me again was to just yell it
Yell
a second
it louder?
time. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to do that to clients. So they're like, it didn't. Like, I don't want to go back to the diet that worked. And you're like, I can't just scream it didn't work at them. So I have to explain how am I defining the fact that it didn't work versus the definition that they're saying that it did work. How do you explain that difference? Yes. So that rant was just for me.
Another podcast.
I enjoyed that rant.
Yeah, probably felt really good.
I just feel bad. Like, it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's okay. It'll be okay. What other questions do you have?
Well, now let me think of one.
Oh, was that it?
No, pretty much, yeah.
It's okay.
That was disappointing.
Oh, no, it's not.
So the one thing I do want to ask is, we have this week coming up. And this week coming up is a trip to Chicago.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, we have a day long of travel.
Yep.
We're there for 5 days.
Yep.
And then we have a day long of travel. So it's going to be 7 days.
Yeah.
And it's going to be over the weekend. So next week's podcast might not happen on the weekend. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
We'll see what happens. But what are your thoughts? Like, what I often hear with clients is, oh, I have this travel coming up. Like, I'm so bummed because I was doing so good on my diet. And it's like, well, why? What? Like, keep doing good. Like, why did that sentence follow the other sentence? Why are those connected? So how do you? What is your mindset going into a full week-long travel?
Shit. Do you want to go there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I am going to have snacks in my bag.
Yes.
I need to have the okay that if I am choosing between nothing and eating, eat.
Yes.
If I'm choosing between overeating and undereating, overeat.
Yes.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I'm also adjusting mentally to know the scale is going to fluctuate from all of the stress and the water weight and the travel, and I probably won't see a fat loss, or I keep saying that, but I won't see the scale go down for probably a week after Chicago.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely take at least 3 to 5 days. So
I'm trying to
normalize.
I want to make sure I can get in to work out. I know there's going to be pressure to not go to the gym and to do all these other things, and I'm just trying to figure out how do I balance it all.
Yeah.
And I know this is my priority. School's a priority. Work is a priority.
You're running into a lot of number ones.
It's a lot of number ones at once.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So some ideas that we have as of now is we typically will use cheese sticks as snacks. We use Core Powers as snacks. Kellogg is also about having the RX bars. And those are great healthy snacks.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like in Chicago.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
we'll
the
see.
same thing.
Well, one fun thing is what I tell clients to do is when you get into a new town and you're going to be there for a couple of days, Instacart.
Yeah, we'll
see what's around. And all of a sudden, if you're like, oh crap, like I was counting on them having RX bars, they don't have any RX bars, Instacart.
Yeah, so that's kind of where my head is just preparing to be unprepared. So you have to let me make sure I have everything I need, and that way if I don't need it, great, I can still have it later.
Yes.
And just get ready and do, if I know I'm doing the best I can, we can come home and for an extra week or two just absolutely obliterate me and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like we said, you can't undereat and starve yourself and come back with a wrecked metabolism, but you can work through food.
Yeah, so I advise you to overeat if you are uncertain.
And by overeat, we mean maybe 200 calories. Like, we're not talking go nuts.
Yeah, more like if you're like, okay, I have some protein on my plate. I have some carbs. I don't know if this is enough. Let me just add a smidge more.
Right, and
Yeah,
that's it.
smidge more. That's
Not
it. Yeah.
overeat is safe as in...
Yeah, like, okay, let me have all the desserts because I need to make sure I don't have a bad metabolism when I get back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also have, they're fortunate enough to have some adjustable dumbbells. So we can always take those with us and do a quick little 10, 15-minute dumbbell workout in the hotel room in the morning.
Love that, yeah.
Because sometimes when you travel, if you rely on hotel gyms, they're trash.
They're awful.
Or you go in and it's 85 degrees, and then who's going to work out in that? You're going to feel like you're dying.
We had that once. It was
Yes.
awful.
Or it also takes a little bit of prep time. Like you have to put on something that's remotely appropriate for public. You have to go to the place. You have to, organize equipment, find things that you can get into. You do the workout, then you come back. There's a little bit of extra time lost in the transition. To whereas if you just have some dumbbells in your room, you just start moving and go. Yeah. So one of the clients this week traveled, and they're a powerlifter. So they took a 53-pound kettlebell with them, and that's it.
Perfect.
So I wrote them workouts to do with their body and 53-pound kettlebell. And they're still going to kick butt and move forward, and we got still having a great week.
Awesome.
Yeah. So take some equipment if you can, and that can help you with your workouts. Then on food is take some non-perishable items if you can. Take some protein powder. That's great.
Oh, yeah, I should get
Yeah, protein powder would be good to have.
I should get some of that.
Yeah, we have some extra. So we'll take that with us. And then whenever you get into town, you can do Instacart. Or if there's a quick late night walk to a convenience store. Like we talk about, gas stations almost always have cheese sticks. They have nuts. They'll have variations now of protein drinks, which is great.
True.
So a lot of gas stations and small convenience stores actually do have some decent options if you are willing to look for that.
Right.
Yeah. So that would be our approach mentally leading into a chaotic week is, let me control what I can control, but also accept that some things are going to be outside of my control. And if I take 7 days, and let's say we absolutely shit the bed, it was an awful 7 days. You still have all of the days of the rest of your life. That's a lot more than 7, hopefully.
I have all of the days to November 9th.
Yes. So if you look at, okay, I messed up 7 days. If I get the next 7 right, if I get the next 7 right, if I get the next 7 right, all of a sudden those 7 days become a blip in the radar.
Right.
It's not really that significant if you just bounce back and try to stay on track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you have any thoughts?
No. They covered the things that were top of mind for me this week.
Awesome. Okay. Well, there you go. So that was a good check-in, and then we'll see what happens this week and check in next week.
Awesome.
Okay.
It'll be a lot of fun stories the next one, I'm sure.
Yes. Awesome. Well, if anybody has any questions, if you want to know anything, if you want to request any discussion topics that you would like to learn about in these podcasts, just shoot us a message. You can go to our website. We actually have a Contact Us page on the website now because some people didn't realize they could scroll to the bottom of the homepage and send a form, like send a message. So now it's easier to understand. There's just contact page, so contact, and you can send us a message, and we'll happily answer it back and include your requests in the podcast. And then if you like the podcast, please share it. The more people we share it with, the more people can help. If you want to support the podcast, you can do that on the website as well. And then paired with this podcast, we will show Meredith's recent workout on our YouTube channel. So you can go to YouTube and check that out. What's that face?
I look homeless in my...
Oh, you're beautiful.
It's fine. Thank you.
Yes. So she does not like having herself filmed right now. So
Okay.
if you do see the videos and you find benefit to them, so we can all say thank you very much, Meredith. Yes. Yes. But we do have videos on YouTube, and we also post pretty much every day on Instagram with a lot of content as well. And that stuff is different than what we talk about on the podcast. So it's a lot of good information, hopefully. So check us out on those channels and find us and follow us. And then thank you, Meredith, for being here.
Thank you.
And as always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.